Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Love Hour podcast. I'm your host, MrsKevOnStage, and I'm joined by my husband and co-host,
the Kev on Stage.
And this is a podcast where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness and everything in between. And what I'm going to do today is attempt to have a conversation about a pop culture-ish event,
Okay.
but like make it real.
Make it real. This is what I've been asking you to do.
Okay, we're going to attempt to do this. The problem is that last night I took Josiah to soccer practice, which is like an hour and a half. Like, it's a long time. And I probably listened to 20 minutes of 4 podcasts, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 90 minutes. So, yeah, that's about right. And then I was reading articles and doing all of these things to try to like understand what my points were going to be today. And nobody was saying the things that I wanted them to say. So I'm just kind of stuck kind of figuring this thing out. So I wrote some notes and we'll just see where it takes us because I don't really know.
I'm with you.
Yeah, but are you going to be supportive and like be talking, or are you going to be like not?
I think I'll be supportive in talking.
All right, here we go. So we are watching Married at First Sight, and we're reviewing it on The Bold and the Beautiful, which if you haven't watched that show, you should, because I think our dynamic together between us and the Tinksley family is quite hysterical and interesting to look at. And what?
I was just thinking of Marcus and Greg.
What?
They just are like, oh, we build stuff.
But you don't build stuff. Oh, that's
I know, man, but they be having a great time, and I feel left out.
Hello? Boom. For those of you who can't hear, Joshua said they build.
I mean, Greg and Marcus can't.
Greg yesterday put up my pendant lights over my kitchen island, and they look amazing.
They look fantastic. I held up the thing when he rewired it, and I was up there like, you really be knowing how to do this stuff.
Listen, I've
been dead.
Freaking excited because I've been going back and forth about doing the like influencer style homes. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've seen this, they're the gold pendants that kind of look like the old school lanterns.
Yep.
They look like a lantern, but like without the glass. It's just like open, but it's shaped like that, and they're gold, and like every influencer style house has this. And so I was like going back and forth, like I should be an influencer and get that, and then I was like, I don't want that though. Like I just don't want that. And so yeah, and so I was like, although because they're everywhere, they're like they have the really high end and very expensive ones, and then they have like the really inexpensive ones. I was like, just get the low and inexpensive ones and like be done and have like my influencer style house. And then I was like, I don't want that though. So I ended up buying these. It's a globe, and it's like black. It's like a matte black on the top. Then it has like a gold brass rim, and then it has like a clear globe on the bottom portion of it. And I love them. Yes, we did. We're gonna have to take it down probably for filming because Kev's tall, and so. Because they hang low. They're not low, but they're pretty. They're not low for like if you're sitting down at the
they're just
island.
Only low for filming.
But they're low for filming.
If you're tall like me.
Yes.
And that didn't even click. Greg put them in. We were like admiring them, and I was like, "Crap, we're shooting here on Wednesday."
Yeah.
And I stood there, and it's like right where my head is.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how we got there, but I really, truly enjoy them. And they're like my new favorite thing in life. And now I need to find another pendant to go into the living room. But the one that I found was like $3,500. For one.
For one light?
First of all, one. I'm out here like, first of all, as much as I love interior decorating, I kind of have to be inspired. And lately I haven't been inspired, to be honest. I just haven't been inspired.
Ooh, you sounding like a creative more and more. It is just flowing out of you now. Also, if you look at Melissa's reel posted from today, she did that herself, and I was really much in love with it. I don't give her crap about creative anymore because she stopped saying it. But now that you stopped and you really just gone into it, bruh, low key, I'm like, you were almost a natural born creative.
Oh, Lord. So anyway, I haven't been inspired, so I haven't been doing stuff. And then I'm not buying anything or doing anything until I decide that I want to. And so this is taking way longer than it probably should, but I really don't care. So anyway, we are talking about Married at First Sight, season 12. And we're going to use them as an example, but we're going to like talk more broadly. Okay. So in the show, there is a couple, the premise of the show, for those of you who don't watch it, is that there are experts that match based on characteristics that I'm not quite sure what they are, but I'm like personality, finances, looks, your
and
family
like desires
background, desires in life, those kind of things.
Kids or not.
Yeah, those type of like non-negotiable things that kind of make up who a person is and what would make them compatible with someone. They take all of those, assess them, and then they match people together based on those. There's 3 experts. Once those experts match you to someone, the show then marries you and your match on the spot the first time that you meet. And the premise of the show is to follow your relationship over the course of 6 weeks. 8 weeks. I actually think they changed it, so I think it is 8 now. And so they follow you over the course of your 8 weeks. And at the end of those 8 weeks, you and your partner, your match, get to decide if you're going to remain married or get a divorce. It's like what they would call a new take on arranged marriages. Basically, it's literally an arranged marriage. So this season, we're on like episode 6, maybe halfway through, plus or minus. And
Chris, Paige?
No.
Ryan,
Brianna,
Clara?
and Vincent. During their match or during their wedding ceremony, all of Brianna's family is saying that she's really bossy.
Yes.
Okay. This is a theme that comes up over and over and over and over and over again. They have a really good honeymoon. Things are going really well. And then towards the end of the honeymoon, things are kind of going awry for all the couples, to be honest. Things just kind of start unraveling. I think just the natural high of like, oh my God, I'm so excited, kind of wanes. And then you start seeing the person for who they are. And you're just kind of like, hold on, like, maybe this isn't what I thought. So, and they're not that bad, but some of it is starting to wane a little bit. So anyway, he tells Brianna, basically, I feel disrespected.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's the idea I sent you.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So he says that he feels disrespected, and we have been deciding and discussing what that means and how often in relationships the title of this episode will be I said what I said, but oftentimes we don't actually say what we mean.
Yeah, buddy. Meta message. The words you say, the intended reception, and what was actually received.
Yes.
All could be 4 different things.
Correct.
This is something that I've been struggling with also.
Yes. So we were talking, I was listening, and the way this actually kind of came up as well is that when we were doing the Malcolm and Marie review, no, I think actually was, I'm mixing 2 worlds. Hold on. We were talking about Married Bald and the Beautiful. Married at First Sight.
Married Bald.
And I was mentioning this podcast, which a lot of people were asking me. The podcast that I was listening to is Therapy for Black Girls, and it is the episode where they're talking about Malcolm and Marie. That's why all those things came out right then.
It's a lot.
So in the episode, the guest host said that oftentimes in relationships, we take situations or scenarios to illustrate a bigger issue, and your partner defends the scenario and often misses the issue.
Yep.
Okay. That, I believe, is what's happening in this scenario with Brianna and Vincent.
Yes.
I believe that what's happening is that in addition, he is interpreting what's happening as disrespect because he probably doesn't realize that he feels micromanaged and controlled.
So 2 things I want to say. First of all, Kevin Hart, 40-year-old virgin. First of all, I don't understand what words you're saying.
Yes.
So I'm going to take it as disrespect.
Right.
Watch your mouth. But the point I wanted to make, the feelings wheel you showed me, we talked about, a lot of times the underlying emotion that we're feeling isn't what we convey.
Correct.
Mad, sad, angry, happy, disrespected could really be underneath disrespect is what? Underneath lonely is not seeing her to value.
Right.
But we don't often either understand or take the time to like drill deeper to say this is actually what I'm feeling, which if we did and conveyed that, it probably would cause less issues down the line. Because you're like, how you feel disrespect? I ain't disrespect you. All I did was this.
Right.
You know?
And to that exact point, so Brianna's interpretation, and it probably we the audience didn't get a chance to see that actual conversation.
Right.
All we saw was the outcome of it.
Yeah.
And so what Brianna said was, he said he felt disrespected, and what I heard was I was being rude.
Yes.
Brianna, you're being rude. And so my fear,
she actually
is this.
said that too.
Yes, she did, out of her mouth. So like there's a ton of like miscommunication happening, and I'm like, this is what actually happens all the time.
Yeah.
You say I feel disrespected, not intentionally misleading, because you don't actually understand, you know, maybe what's really going on. So you say disrespect. He literally says disrespect. That's not what she hears.
No.
It also could be the way he explained it.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean disrespected? Because you said it like this. So now
Yes.
we're talking about tone.
Right.
So she says, oh, I was being rude. So tomorrow what I'm going to do is still be bossy, still maybe micromanage, still maybe control. I'm just going to do it very nicely.
I'm going to do it in a different tone.
I'm going to do it. And then in 3 weeks, you're going to be like, so like, I know you're being nicer, but like, I still feel a way about what you're saying.
Dang, it just clicked where I thought I was seeing, hearing, and valuing you, but I
Yes.
was just changing my approach and doing the same thing.
And that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. I think a lot of times.
Okay.
And so what ends up happening is, and I'm sure in the conversation she says, because I think, for example, their thing is timeliness. She's very like timely, right?
Yes.
And so one of the things that's really important in any relationship in timeliness is to make sure that your erection arrives on time. And Blue Chew is here to help you do that.
Oh, Liz. That was great. I want that penis hard when I need it.
Clock in, sir. It's
Not
your time.
later. That coochie ready for me now. An erection in it now ain't gonna help me none. She might be tired. Blue Chew, what could you do for my peen right now? Tell my mama I need my money on time. He's an on time peen. Yes, it is. Whoa, on time peen. Yes, it is. Come on. Blue Chill delivers the pill when you need it.
Okay.
So your peen will be hard on time. He's an on-time peen. Yes, it is.
And
Rocking a hard place, and the hard place is your meat.
Yes, and it delivers it on time because you don't even have to go to the grocery store or a pharmacy to pick it up. They will deliver it to your door in very discreet packaging, so you don't even have to worry about being embarrassed
Mind
about
your business, postman.
your
Or woman.
ED,
Or non-binary person.
erectile dysfunction, potentially hating on your good time that you want to have. Blue True tablets combat all forms of ED and can help men gain extra confidence for when it's time to perform and perform on time. Blue True is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It'll ship directly to your door in very discreet packaging. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with their online licensed medical provider, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's done all online, so you do not have to leave the comfort of your own home. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, or you just want to have an extra good night, please visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code LOVE at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code LOVE to receive your first month free. And thank you, Blue Chew, for being a consistent sponsor of the Love Hour podcast.
And our penises.
All right. So with that said, that is one of the things that I think happens oftentimes. And I look back on conversations that we've had. And again, the lady said issues and situations. I've often said, I'm talking about a pattern.
Yes.
Is what I've often said. I'm talking about a pattern, and you're defending this moment. And you will get so caught up in the details of a specific moment.
Yes.
And it's very easy, if you're not clear on what you're saying,
Yes.
to also go down the rabbit hole of specific moments. And you miss an overarching theme, pattern, idea, issue that you're actually talking about.
Listen, you in your bag, first of all. What you need, baby?
I was looking for my water, but go ahead.
Second of all, this is advanced level marriage stuff. Not necessarily of age, but to understand how to communicate properly, you must understand what you are trying to communicate, what you are communicating, and what's being interpreted and received, or the vice versa of your partner. Sometimes you need to understand their intensity of what they were saying and how to address the root issue, right? I think a perfect example of, we've had so many of these examples in like, and what's frustrating is when you don't understand the root issue and you keep addressing an actual symptom and you address that thing, that never happens again, right?
Yes.
I've done this exact thing. I never do that again.
Correct.
But I do something else and you're just as mad. And I'm like, here she go mad about another thing.
And to this point,
and it's really the same thing.
It is. And to this point, if Vincent doesn't understand what, and this is my assumption, like honestly, they haven't given us insight into what's actually going on. This is quite literally just like a guess, okay? Like I want to be clear that I am completely and totally guessing based off my own experience. So that says a lot about me as well. So I just want to make that clear that I'm guessing. But if Vincent isn't in fact talking about feeling disrespected, this will continue and it will cause Brianna to be frustrated because she's like, oh, I'll just change my tone.
Yep.
And in doing that, he'll still feel controlled. And that's why I believe at the root of this is control. You have to set the expectation. Hi, friend. Hi, partner, friend, boyfriend, mom, dad. Timeliness is important to me. And this is what we were talking about actually in my book club. Timeliness is important to me. What I'm not going to do is micromanage you. I'm not going to control you, but I am going to set the expectation. Being on time is important to me. I like to be, no matter where we're going in the world, I like to be at least 5 minutes early. I don't like to rush. I want to be 5 minutes early. That's my expectation. Don't ask me anywhere we go. I want to be 5 minutes early. So that means backdate our travel time. Backdate how long it takes you to get dressed.
Anticipate traffic if you live in LA.
Yes.
Because there's always traffic. Coronavirus is waning in people's minds. LA traffic is back.
Right. And
I don't want to hear I was stuck in traffic. There's always traffic. Anticipate the time with traffic.
Exactly.
If there's an accident,
right now.
there's an accident. If there is traffic, there is always traffic. On the 101, on the 405, on the 118, rarely on the 210. But the rest of them, you know that. You know that. You've lived here.
Correct.
You just move here. I get it. And at All Def, don't tell me there's traffic. It's downtown LA. It's the worst. You need to anticipate 2 hours.
Right.
Or parking. Here's what, luckily, praise God, thank God, Melissa travels like me. My brother and I used to want to lose
He's very
my mind
lackadaisical.
on
But
tour.
what'll happen in relationships is that you will feel the need, and Kevin has done that, and I'll be on time. I'm very rarely late. And if I'm late, I'll be like,
be quiet. Probably.
Correct. But Kev will be like, I'm walking out the door. Okay, I'll see you in the car. I got my steps. Where are you at in the process? I'm putting on my eyelashes. I don't know what that means because you don't need to worry about it. I'll be in the car.
But to her credit, she don't be late.
I don't be late.
So I don't bother her.
Now, but it took us a while to get there.
Oh, yeah.
And in the beginning, again, that's micromanaging.
Yes.
And you will say, and sometimes women don't feel, women might not say disrespect and feel the same thing.
Yeah.
And this is why I think this is interesting between Brianna and Vincent, because he'll feel like, why are you're disrespecting me? I'm a man. I got this together. I don't need your help. I've been doing this for how long?
Right.
And what he's really, because what will happen is it won't just happen in timeliness. It'll also happen in how he brushes his teeth.
Yes. And that's the problem. You'll think, okay, he doesn't like when I rush him when he's getting dressed. I won't do that anymore. But what I will do is say, honestly, the way you put the cereal
correct
this way
is wrong.
And I'll be like, and he gonna be like,
you need
girl,
to do it like
doesn't
this.
Matter.
And someone in the comments said she feels like it is helping. And I think sometimes help can be misinterpreted. There is help, and sometimes there's really useful help. And sometimes there is your way is inefficient and your way is wrong. And so what I want you to do is do it the right way, which is my way.
Yes.
Kev's like, now we're talking.
That is Kevin. What is so funny.
I thought that was you.
This is the problem with Kevin, is that he often thinks he's talking about me. And the fact of the matter is, Kevin is a micromanager.
What? Joshua, don't you dare agree.
Kevin likes things done his way. He'll tell you that it's me. It's not true. I am
Look down.
so.
Look at me.
I am the most. Hey, do this, and I need it back by this day. I'm not going to manage your time. I will follow up with you the day before. I will say, Joshua, are we still doing good on this? Hey, Joshua, I'm expecting this by 5. Are
We're
you
breaking
good?
up.
I don't. Yes, because Joshua knows it's true. I don't micromanage. This man here who wants to say that it is me, it's untrue. It's untrue.
First of all, these are blameless and false accusations. My character is under attack. I'm suing for libel and slander.
Is this something you guys talked about before?
Yes. Yes, it is. Own your truth, sir.
She's not wrong. I am working on this.
He is working on it.
It is.
You are.
I am
He
really.
is, to his credit.
2 years ago, Kev, compared to this Kev.
It's a long.
And boy, let me tell you
with
what.
thank God.
Let me tell you what is the doggone Mario star to a micromanager. When you give someone
Correct.
grace and they mess up, you be like, and this is why I do.
And holding on to that proof as evidence for everyone. And this is why I have to micromanage.
Exactly. Now, let me
This is
tell you
why
what
I have
Melissa
to
really
control
helped me too.
you.
And I don't want to get off track because I
Go ahead.
think this is a good topic. And it's a great point. Remember one time I was on tour. Our travel lady was notoriously sucky. But I also sucked because of doing too many things.
Yes.
I either double booked a hotel or I did something wrong. And Melissa was like, if the person that you hired had done this, you would have been all up in arms.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like you've made the same mistake that you get so upset about people, which is fine. But I want you to give other people the same grace that you give yourself. And I said, I don't give myself grace. I beat myself up too. It's just when I'm spending my own money messing up, I can understand that. If I'm paying you, it's because I mess up.
Right.
If I'm paying you, I can't have you messing up too. Because now I'm paying you to do the same thing I was doing on my own.
Yes.
I need, but now I've gotten better. We actually had a situation on set, and I said, Kev, you just did a great job.
Tell it. Pat yourself on the back. Tell us.
I'm going to tell you what happened. I think the Patreon said you threw your water to the side before the episode, which happens often, and then you forget. And then it'd be up to the side.
I thought I did, but I couldn't see it.
Did he go under the? Yeah, there it is. Patreon, you watch him with love. One of our producers had cut the COVID officer early.
This is a good example.
There was a lot of moving parts yesterday. COVID is not even relatively. It is a brand new wrinkle to production that
And it's expensive wrinkle.
It is. Boy, when I tell y'all, it's just, I don't want to go deep into that because it'd be frustrating. But anyway, he was trying to save us money because you have to pay for the COVID officers per test and by the hour when you're doing productions the way we were doing them. He thought all the talent was accounted for and checked in. One person was coming later. Call sheet had gotten messed up. They had a stage name and they had an actual name.
Yeah.
So he thought they checked in. So he cut the COVID people and we needed this last person to get tested. The COVID officer was like, I can't admit them without a test because you basically have broken the whole protocol of the whole set. He was beating himself up. He's like, Kev, I'm sorry. I cut them. They're on the way back, but it's going to take 45 minutes. I don't want the talent to be mad. I said, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
I had planned on making another video with this talent anyway. We'll just let them know, hey, we did this, and that. We'll shoot outside while we wait, and by the time they get back, we'll be done. Yeah. Ended up working to within 10 minutes. By the time we had finished shooting, and they had already been COVID tested prior to coming, so it was like little concern. But anyway, and he was just like broken inside after the shoot. I mean, for the rest of the shoot, and I said, hey, listen.
Listen.
We make mistakes. You made a human error. I made a mistake. I was supposed to bring the dominoes. Told him I was. Completely forgot. Pushed us back 20 minutes. I said, look, I made a mistake that cost us 20 minutes. You made a mistake trying to save me money.
Right.
I will take that mistake over not trying to save you money or not taking initiative. And a mistake made in earnest is an honest mistake.
I agree.
I say, I guarantee what you will never do again. You'll never cut the COVID early.
Yeah.
You'll
You'll
I
double
said, don't
check.
cut the COVID early until the
Listen,
last talent is shooting.
You learn making mistakes, though.
You learn making mistakes,
Yeah.
and I'd rather you do that than not trust yourself. And I think Micromanager Kev would have been like, let me make sure, check in with me before you cut, check in before you do this. You know what I mean? It always needed to go through me. But I know that this company can't grow if I micromanage every single person.
Right.
I need to be like, it's okay. Like a quarterback throws an interception. Okay, here's why you did that. You know the linebacker, he did this and dropped back. Now you know. Let's get out there and have another good play.
Yeah.
But in our marriages, we need the same approach.
Correct.
And grace in our relationships. Because also, you made a good point. You can set those same ideas platonically or at work. It's all of our relationships, not just romantic ones. Let me tell you what has changed a lot in my life, relationship-wise, my relationship with the gym.
Why?
I actually, prior to COVID, I had a routine going.
You did, actually.
I was on the road.
You're very routine.
I am routine boy.
Yeah, you are.
I would go to the hotel. We got in the night before. I'd sleep in on Friday, wake up, go work out, lift, cardio, take a shower, or order room service, take a shower, so that when I got out of the shower, clean and fresh,
Yes.
food would be closer. But then COVID changed all that. And to this day, the LA gyms are not open.
No.
So thank God for OpenFit, which is open, which allows me to have a new routine that mostly is a result of me working out in my own home, in my office, in my garage, using the space available to me because I cannot go to the gym. But thankfully, OpenFit, I don't need to go to the gym. OpenFit is a simple streaming service that allows you to work out from the comfort of your own home in as little as 10 minutes a day. You can take a ton of different classes from beginner to advanced, including strength training, cardio, Pilates, yoga, and even meditation. You can get a full year personal training class for about the cost of one in-person training session. By turning your camera on, the trainer can see you and interact with you and other people in class. Check out a total body workout class with Instagram superstar Jordan Morello. Plus, there are also nutrition plans to help with your weight loss goals. One thing I love about this personal trainer is accountability.
Yes.
Frankly, when I'm working out by myself, it's very easy to be like, I need to do 6 more push-ups.
But also I can do no more.
But also, I can do 0 more.
Yes.
But because I'm an ego-driven maniac, if somebody is watching me and they're like, Kev, come on, do 6 more.
You're going to do it.
I'm going to do
It's
it.
accountability. We're all that way.
It's accountability that is just, even The Rock and John Cena, who I'm going to look like eventually, they have trainers.
I trust and believe.
Thank you, baby. So I love to start my day off with Jordan, and he be keeping me right. Now, you listen to this. OpenFit has changed the way I work out. Right now, our listeners get a free 14-day trial membership to OpenFit when you text LOVE to 505050. And if you decide to keep the service, which I'm totally sure you will, the entire year is only $96.
Oh, that's a great deal.
Truly the best deal.
Truly the
In
best
fitness, you witness. You'll get full access to OpenFit, all the workouts, and a nutrition guide, totally free for 14 days. Just text LOVE to 505050. Standard message and data rates apply.
One of the things that I think is also happening here is an interpretation in terms of like gender. So bossy, I don't think men are called bossy.
No.
And so we were trying to figure out the difference between, is she being assertive or is she being bossy? And I think the difference is that I think assertive is something setting the expectation. That's asserting, saying what you expect to have done. That would simply be, I expect us to be on time. Timeliness is important to me. As a couple, I want us to arrive to places on time. That is something really important. If that doesn't happen, I will be mad. Just know that going in. That's just me. That's how I operate. Like, I'm going to be upset. I think that's being assertive. You'd be like, oh, okay, hold on. I'm kind of taken off guard because you're like, I never had so, yeah, like, or whatever. I feel like anybody would kind of be, the point is that would be assertive. I think we are using the term bossy to describe something that is not gendered.
Yes.
I think we're talking about being maybe a control freak. I think we're talking about being a micromanager. And that's something that can be applied to both men and women. Yeah. And when you say bossy, I think that's why he's interpreting disrespect.
Yes.
That was like a whole
was great.
situation.
In my field of choice, a woman producer set same expectation as a male producer. A man is interpreted as having his stuff together and expecting a certain thing. A woman is interpreted as being a B. Literally the same actions,
Right.
depending on gender, same voice, same tone, intonation, experience, skill level, all the same. A woman be called a B for expecting the same respect and set decorum as a man.
Yes,
and
or
the same thing
even,
happens
and someone was saying a woman is bossy, a man is controlling, or a woman is nagging. She's
Yep.
always on me all the time.
Yes.
And I think that they're unfair terms because, again, being a boss as a man is not a bad thing. Doesn't have a bad connotation.
You do this when you take boss
Yes,
pictures.
I feel like
man.
that's not a bad connotation. And so it kind of can put, if you're not careful, it can put Brianna in a very unfair, unfavorable, unwinnable circumstance where what she wants and needs aren't being met for fear of being called bossy.
Yep.
And not being able to simply say, this is a priority for me.
Yes. So, in your estimation,
Yes.
what would you say to them? Like, how do you work through this thing? Because somebody in the comments brought this up. Her friends and family called her bossy as well. Obviously, she expects a certain thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, for whatever reason, that rubs him the wrong way. How do they move past that in this scenario and moving forward?
Which is great because I think that's kind of the point of like having the point of this episode is the idea of effective communication.
Yeah.
And first of all, I honestly want to say kudos to them, and something that I would say is one of the points that I wrote down. But I was listening to Shan Booty on Instagram, and she was doing her little like 6-minute review of Malcolm and Marie. And one of the things that she said is when you notice something, speak up early and often.
Yeah.
And I actually applaud him for recognizing immediately something's going on. I don't like it.
Yeah.
This is
Some
rubbing me
milk
the
ain't
wrong
clean.
way. This is getting on my nerves. Like, I need to say something. And I think that's the number one thing is being able to sit down. But there's two sides of that. It's one thing to say something early and often. It's another thing to say something early and often, and it's effective and accurate. Yes. And I think
Because she said, you annoyed me.
Yes.
Okay, that's how you feel. That's not very helpful, though.
Correct.
There's not much I can do with that but be on the defense.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
And someone was saying, he said Vincent said, I don't like her being assertive. I don't remember him saying that, but if he did, shame on him.
Shame.
Yeah, I don't
Shame.
remember him saying those words, but if he did, I think it's unfair because what you want, so you want a silent woman. And I think that's often what happens. You're called bossy, that has a negative connotation. You're called assertive, which I don't actually think is a bad thing, but it can have a negative connotation specifically concerning women.
Yep.
And so you end up feeling silent. Like I can't say anything
Right.
without it being interpreted negatively. But the only way to have a relationship of any sort, and I'm not just exclusively talking about romantic relationships, any relationship, is being able to assert those things that are important to you, make sure that your priorities are met and your expectations are met. Otherwise, being silent is going to mean you're going to be unhappy and unfulfilled.
Yep.
And that's if he's, again, I don't remember him saying that, so I don't want to put that on him. But I think he even has to be clear. And maybe it's just, again, we often don't say what we mean. We say what we said, but we often don't mean what we said.
And a lot of times you say, I said what I said, thinking you communicated effectively.
Exactly.
And you just said something wrong or right, but ineffective. And you standing on it. And I said what I said.
Exactly.
And now what?
And it's not actually. And so then again, with this very specific scenario, if she's micromanaging, again, is the word I want to use, the situation again, but she's like, you should actually close your laptop before you go on to the next thing because the battery life.
Yeah. And
so
now you're
that's-
just like,
Yes.
don't
Thank
touch
you
me.
for being nice. I'll do what I want with my laptop. I don't need your help. I got it. I'm 36
Yeah.
years old. I do not need your help.
36?
Thank you so much. And so again, it's recognizing he said something early and now she's like, well, what do you mean? And then this is when you get scenario specific. You said that you did, again, we didn't see the background,
Man.
the inside of the conversation, but how I imagine it went is in this scenario, and you said it and it was condescending.
You said get off your phone so you can hurry up.
Yes.
Say it's that.
Yes.
I'm not saying she said that. But
Correct. So now I do get that. Get off your phone. Maybe that was, okay, I won't do that no more. And, what if I was talking to somebody, yada, 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 and now it's like, okay, I understand. So my tone was off.
Yep.
You don't want me rushing you off the phone. You don't like to be rushed. Got it. Your laptop is not being rushed. And yet and still, you're going to have some of those same feelings. Say it.
Very good. Very good. One thing I did a lot in our marriage up until last Tuesday. Tell me the exact thing I did wrong. Exactly. Day, time, weather pattern, wind temperature.
Right.
Okay? I will never do that specific thing again. Therefore, problem solved.
Correct.
I was giving her like, well, tell me another time.
Yes.
And I will correct every example and continue to find creative ways to do the exact same thing. Because the truth is, I'm correcting the expression of the thing that's bothering me, not actually addressing, the thing that's bothering you, not actually addressing the root thing, right? So, for example, we
and
talked
that's
about this.
2 ways, but continue.
Yeah. Working on with Melissa and I being seen, heard, and valued, which is that can be.
It's so broad.
It's so broad. So we're on a conference call, seen, heard, valued. I need to make sure Melissa does that. Somebody asks a question. Melissa, you want to talk first?
Yes.
Okay. Melissa's like, I don't like the way you do that. How about if we do this instead? Here's, model this behavior. Perfect. I'll never do that exact thing again. But when Melissa is asked a question, I'll answer for her. Right? To me, I've made great strides because the thing you asked me to do, I no longer do.
Right.
But I do the exact thing a different way.
You do the exact issue in a different scenario.
Yes. So now you bring it up and I'm like, okay, don't do that thing again. Got it. Now, totally different scenario. I do the exact issue again. She says the same thing. Now we're both frustrated.
Right.
She's feeling like, I keep telling him these things bother me. I keep telling her.
But even take it a step back, though, Kevin. I'm at a point where today I am able to identify the issue. Part of the reason as couples and in relationships we're in this cycle is because often people don't understand the issue. And so we are attacking the situation.
Boom. Hold that thought. This has happened to us and it's great. Probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe. I think we were both working at All Deaf.
Oh.
Melissa says, we don't really talk that much.
I thought you were going to sing.
I wasn't going to say, we don't even talk
exactly
anymore.
what I thought you were going to say.
Do that. We don't even know what we. So I'm hearing, she didn't say this, but what I hear is when you get home from work at All Deaf, you immediately get on your phone because you got to do notes, emails, things like that. My answer to we don't talk that much anymore, which is all Melissa said at the time, is I interpret that as you're on your phone too much. You know what I do, Joshy? When I get home, I'm going to put my phone down so we can talk. How's your day? Blah, 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 blah. Problem not solved. What Melissa was saying was...
But I didn't know I was...
She didn't say it.
And it's not what I knew I was saying either.
And yes, this is hindsight 2020, not
Correct.
2020 experience. Justin, you apologize too late.
He
When we
did
talk,
apologize,
she also said, when we talk, it's not deep.
Yes.
Okay? So I take that as, let me look in your eyes. This deep enough for you? What she was really saying is, I don't feel like you're vulnerable to me. You don't share your fears. You share your successes, your plans, but not your deepest, darkest. So I'm like, dang, now let me talk for a long time. Because when we were young, we felt like deep conversations happened when we talked for 2 or 3 hours in the morning.
Yes.
But what was happening in those conversations when we were young wasn't just a long time. It was, this is how I grew up. This is how my mom was. This is how that made me feel. Those were the actual things. So what she was longing for wasn't the time of the conversation, but more the content or the depth of information shared.
Right.
Like when we were young. And I'm like, well, girl, dang, we ain't young. We don't have as many things to talk about anymore.
Right.
So, mind you, we now know that this is like, again, hindsight's 2020. We can see a much more clear picture now. But at the time, you can't see the forest for the weeds. It's like, this is taking so much time. And, like a lot of good things take a lot of time, like a good painting. Paint Your Life takes no time at all. You can get a high quality painting in a little bit of time with Paint Your Life. Our family's been able to get together, hasn't been able to get together in a long time.
No, quarantine. Go ahead.
Listen, I actually saw a picture of me, my mom, and my dad in February of last year, because they come to pretty much any show in North Carolina or South Carolina within a day's drive of them. And I was like, man, we used to always get together because I always have shows there. They always came. And I got this picture in my phone, and I'm going to get it painted because it's just me and my mom and dad in a Cracker Barrel parking lot.
I love it.
And I have some pancake coated with racism.
I miss Cracker Barrel. The thing about it is that we're all finding ways and trying to find ways to connect with one another in quarantine in a safe way. And because that often means not gathering and getting together, you're looking for more creative ways to do things. And Paint Your Life is one of those ways to bring your family together and to do it in a safe manner. We actually have a Paint Your Life portrait that you guys have seen.
I was just telling them in the other
times.
thing. It's in my office at the new soundstage. They're all going up.
Yeah. So we actually have done this. They're the perfect gift, whether you're talking about an anniversary gift, a birthday gift, a just because gift, an I miss you gift, a grandparents gift. Like, there's so many reasons to do this, and they're a great way to memorialize moments in your life together and have them in your home and not just on your phone, on the social medias. Choose from a team of world-class artists and work with them until every detail is perfect. All you're going to do is upload the photo that you want, and you get to hand
got it in my phone.
Hand pick how you want it to look, the colors, if you want it in black and white, you get to hand pick oil,
canvas, acrylic.
Yes, all of those things. You get to hand pick those details, and the artist will capture the essence of your picture in a really beautiful way, as they've done with the photo that you guys have seen of me and Kevin. It's the one with our grills, and it just kind of has like a gritty
because we're gritty type people. We're
totally
from the
not.
streets.
But the picture captures the idea of grit, and that's actually what I love about it. To get this special offer, text the word hour HOUR to 64,000. That's hour to 64,000. Paint Your Life. Celebrate the moments that matter most. And you can go to paintyourlife.com. There's no risk. If you don't love the final painting, your money is refunded, guaranteed. And right now, as a limited time offer, you can get 20% off your painting. That's right, 20% off and free shipping. To get this offer one more time, you're going to text hour to 64,000. That's hour to 64,000.
Also, apparently, you should make a painting where you can't see the forest through the trees, or for the trees, not the weeds.
It is forest through the trees.
Forest
through the trees.
Through the trees.
Or from the trees.
From the trees.
Yeah, I think it's from the trees.
Weed is a tree. Anyway, guys, I'm tired of y'all. Thank you, but hush.
So anyway, my recommendation to Brianna and Vincent would be, obviously, this is the other thing. They're very new.
They are not even a weekend at this point.
They're super, super new. And so it will take probably a little while for Vincent to even identify that this is how he's feeling. But once he recognizes that, and they've already seemed to have opened up the doors of communication to kind of have these awkward conversations that might leave you angry at the end of it, but they're so healthy.
Yeah.
Because even the next day, it seemed like she was willing to adjust. Yes.
And a key about that is seeing the issue and not feel like you're changing yourself. One thing that's is hard in marriage is the self-work.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny you said that. Rebecca and I were having a conversation about being in relationships because she's dating. And so she was like, Melissa, I have a hard time. I don't want to get with someone and feel like I have to change myself for them. And it's not the person I'm going to be with.
Yeah.
And I was telling her that I understand that predicament. I think that you don't want to change yourself, but to not acknowledge that in our relationship, I haven't changed or I haven't adjusted myself to mold a way that fits you and your life, as I'm sure you've done for me, is also unrealistic. There has to be someone, I'm working on the phrasing of this, but I feel like you are my life partner. So you are worthy of me changing myself, not at the core of who I am, but allowing myself to show up as a better person in the world, but also as the best version of a wife for you.
Yes.
Because I want to be married to you.
Yes.
And so sometimes that may mean I change things a little bit.
Yes.
But as long as I don't feel like it is the spirit and integrity of who I am isn't changing,
right,
then I feel like those are accommodations that you make.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm all the way making
you
sense, because it's a very fine line to kind of navigate and walk.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm going to use a sports analogy. Please allow me this.
Okay. You haven't used one in a while.
I haven't. Tom Brady's a great quarterback. Fantastic. Has a certain skill set. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, also great quarterbacks. Different skill sets. A coach would not say, Tom Brady, I used to coach Lamar Jackson. He was very fast and he could run.
Right.
You do that.
Right.
Tom Brady is good at a lot of things. Running fast is not one of them. So to get the best out of this relationship, I need to play to your strengths and diminish your weaknesses. If I go to another team and I have a different person, I'm going to do. You can't say this worked in this previous relationship, therefore I'm going to do it again.
Right.
And that's the thing about being married to you, or in Rebecca's case, dating you, whoever the guy is, it's XYZ is going to work for him. And also I'm going to make adjustments for that. And because you're going to expect some of those accommodations.
Yeah.
I think maybe accommodations versus compromises is a thing. You're not going to say, I'm religious, you're not, therefore I'm not going to go to church.
I feel that like that is a cornerstone.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's not something you're really, and I think that's okay. And everyone, even in dating, I think the problem, I think what she was saying is that maybe you feel like you're constantly changing yourself. And I don't think that's healthy either.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think everyone is worthy is the word that I use for her of those changes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean to interrupt you. If you're dating, if this is me, and guys, I ain't dated in 20 some odd years, what I would say is in the early phases, you are assessing whether this person is worthy of what is required to make a strong relationship.
Right.
If while you're talking, while you're taking a couple dates, you're assessing, you'd be like, you know what? The way this is going, from the information I have now, I don't know if I see this as valuable enough for me. Because the fact of the matter is, in order to make a long-term relationship work, there will be some adjustments.
Absolutely.
Romantic, platonic, employee.
Yes.
Can I work and adjust to your strengths and weaknesses? That's what I need to decide if I'm hiring you, if we're going to be friends, or we're going to be romantically involved, and maybe try some butt stuff.
Hello.
But that's what you have to do in that phase.
Right.
And then in the like serious relationship phase, then you try that stuff.
Right.
I was talking to Tahir about this yesterday. We were talking about love languages on lunch, which is, tell you where my friends are.
I was about to say, y'all the most evolved set of men.
Listen, Tahir was talking about how, I'm sure he's talking about this publicly. Understand. He was talking about how he was understanding his love languages, gifts, and gift giving. And he thought, I'm going to give gifts to you to show you that I love you.
Yeah.
Because that's how I feel love.
Right.
And he was like, you know what? I realized Farron needs physical touch more. And speaking my love language to her doesn't help her feel love.
Right.
I'm going to have to learn how to love her in a way that she interprets as love. And then I've got to ask myself if I can do that. Because that's my wife. I can do that. What I think in relationships, what people have to understand is this partner feels love this way. Do I have the capacity and the desire to express love to them in a way that they decide that they interpret it as love?
Right.
If not,
right.
It's, you know what, this relationship isn't going to work. Not because you're bad or I'm bad, but because the way you accept and interpret as love, I cannot give that to you in that way.
Yeah.
Or I'm not ready to.
Right.
Or I don't have the capacity to, which just saves both parties a lot of time. I know physical touch. If I'm dating.
Yeah.
To hear at this point in his life, take Farron out of the equation. He knows physical touch is really hard for him. He might say, if a girl's really into that, you know what? I'm going to save you some time.
That's not going to work for me.
That's not going to work for me. I'm not going to be able to love you in the way that you feel love, grace, and peace. But if he meets a girl, and I'm not saying he's lazy about doing this, but if a girl loves gifts, this is something I can do. Because now what he's saying is I've got to do, in order to keep my marriage, I've got to do the work.
Right.
Of why is physical touch hard for me? Because he was saying a lot of it is his upbringing, hard exterior, rough stuff, street of St. Louis. All true. I get that. That's fair and valid. But for his wife, he's willing to do that. If he was dating her, he might not feel like doing that.
Right. And that's the difference between, the value that's placed on those relationships in, dating and marriage. And I believe Brianna and Vincent are going to make it. I think that this is something that they can work through and get over. But if they're in this for the long haul, which I believe that is their intent in coming on the show, that they're trying to make it beyond the experiment, that she will adjust. And she seemed more than willing to adjust. And I think that's the sign of a healthy relationship, is that, there are some things that you will have to soften or maybe sharpen or take out or add to who you are as a person, because you're with someone you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Now watch this. I hate to say this, but Pilot Boy, I can never think of that man's name.
Eric
and Virginia.
Yes.
Personality wise, this man wants to do his job, come home and chill.
Right.
She wants to spend Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, her words, drinking with her friends. One of these things ain't gonna work. If you are gonna say, I am committed, I said what I said, these are my friends, prior to marrying you, I've spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday drinking with my friends. Post marrying you, I anticipate on spending Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on my friends.
Right.
Okay, well, I want to read, want to walk the dog, things like that. Can we either, this is what they're going to have to do. Can you drink with them on Thursday and Saturday?
Yes.
Because his way is also not going to work. You're never going to spend no time drinking with your friends.
But
you're
also,
going to come and do what I want to do.
So, and this is one of those things where it's like, okay, so he can either become an alcoholic with her. And I hate saying alcoholic. I don't know if she's an alcoholic. She gives me alcoholic tendencies.
Kristen called her a drunkard.
But to just like call her an alcoholic, we don't know that. So I'm going to stop calling her an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
But for her,
a heavy social drinker.
Correct. If he were to start heavily socially drinking with her, I feel like that is a core change.
Yes.
That's not something. With that said, I believe she could use a core change, because what she is doing is destructive.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like the difference. Maybe it's a double standard, but I feel like that's something that really should be evaluated, because that's a trait that's not healthy, period.
Right.
Doing that sort of heavy drinking. But those are the accommodations that you would have to make, and making sure that I'm not the only one changing. So going back to Chris and Paige, if she's the one constantly giving and constantly bending and constantly accommodating, well, this is an uneven, unbalanced scenario.
It's a seesaw that I don't ever get to go push on.
Exactly.
I'm always up in the air.
Exactly.
And I think in this scenario, Eric had, and I'm trying to make this understandable if you don't watch the show, he tried to drink with her, and he just ended up drunk.
But when he came to, he was like, "This ain't.
I can't do this with you.
This ain't
girl.
my life."
And I think that's, I think we actually made a lot of good points for dating casually, dating seriously, and being married, and the amount of like effort. Because Jackie Ina was saying this. Friend of the pod, she was doing like an Instagram question and answer, and somebody asked her, what does she wish she did more in her 20s? And she said, I wish I dated more casually. Like, I just want to have a good time, hang out with some people. I don't necessarily want to core change.
Yeah.
I just want to have a good time. And I think even that's okay if you say, this is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Do you accept these terms, so to speak?
Say
you're a young Mexican man.
That's an assertion to me.
I'm young.
Yeah.
Got me a Tesla.
It's so funny. We were talking really quickly, and we can close this out.
Chili pepper
I listened to the Jasmine Sullivan album in whole.
Hotels?
The Hotels.
What you thought about it?
And I was saying that I think that it's an album most people probably would expect me not to like. And I'm always completely, a couple things. I'm always completely here for women having agency over their body, even if the choices they make wouldn't be the choices that I would make.
I get that. And she actually said agency in the song, in one of the things.
Okay. I'm always completely here for that.
Yep.
Interpret that.
I love that, actually.
The way that you will. And I also think that all she was talking about was an honest evolution of a single woman.
Yes.
So she's talking about at one time, all I want to do is have fun. Girls just want to have fun, and I'm going to be out here doing what I want to do.
But actually, that leaves me with bodies on bodies on bodies
but
on
also,
chick. Get it together, chick.
Yes.
You don't know who you been home with.
And my mama would be ashamed. It wasn't just my mama. I'm looking at myself like, girl, what is happening? I think that those are honest emotions. I also think there's an emotion behind, I don't think it was her story, it was somebody else's, of I want to get serious. I'm sick of being cheated on. I'm going to get with this person, but I'm so toxic that I end up cheating on this person that I wanted to actually be with. That's an honest thing, too.
I'm selfish and I'm working on it.
There's also something really honest about having agency over your...
Huda hada.
Correct. And saying, I'm going to do it however I want. Y'all keep saying it's yours. How about it's mine? And then also realizing I don't always want to be in a scenario where the only thing I have to offer somebody is that.
Listen, that doggone album, luckily it's various people's tales, but I feel like at different parts in your life, you could be any one of those people.
And I think
this is just my truth.
I think that if you are single, well into maybe your 30s, mid 30s, 40s, you probably are all of those people at one time. And I honestly feel like that's okay. I think we assign shame, and shame is the best word for it. And why?
Listen, I freaking love that album.
Yes.
It's actually like stand up to me. I feel like a great songwriter is like a great stand up. Cat Williams has a joke about getting so high that he sat on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Right? Melissa and I don't do no drugs.
On the
he
refrigerator?
Said, Death, I don't want to smoke. I got stuff to do tomorrow.
Listen.
Right?
I love that joke. That's obviously how I feel.
Never been in that scenario. But Cat, one of his great skills is he takes me into his world and paints a clear picture so well that even though I've never done that stuff, I can understand it.
Yes.
Jasmine Sullivan, similar. I'm not even a woman, but these doggone pictures are created so vividly.
Yeah.
Like Lost Ones, which is my favorite song on that album. Look, you know how I feel when you lost one. Somehow you mess up so bad, you can't make amends. And you got to doggone sit and own that. And that girl, the tale prior to that was like, I don't even know why I did that. And I really lost a good one. And I don't even know why did I do that?
No, she
and
said,
I almost had a nervous breakdown.
I'm normally the one cheated on. And then I got this good person by my side. And what I do? I cheat on them.
And listen, and sometimes, this is a doggone breakup song that sounds like a funeral song. But sometimes you can't make amends. Sometimes you mess up beyond,
repair.
Beyond repair. But anyway, I said all that to say, I don't know. I like that album.
Yeah, I don't remember how we got here either. But the point is that, women be...
Oh, different times in your relationship.
Correct.
Where you want to be and where that person is. And that's kind of how I feel like you should date. And why, for Melissa, Denise Brebritz, I will doggone work as hard as I possibly can because this relationship is very important to me, right? If Melissa left me for Idris Elba or Michael B. Jordan, the next people, it's hotels. I don't care about you. I lost one. I would be you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine myself giving as much of myself, honestly, to another person ever in my life. I will never work this hard again. So me and Melissa don't work out. Anybody else,
it's the work for me, child. I get it.
Because I love you so much, I'm willing to do some self-work that a single version of Kevin might not have done.
Oh, why bother?
Why bother?
I'll
jack off before I do all that.
I told the book club today that me and Danny decided that this is our week of toxicity.
Oh, so funny.
that
So
we were
funny.
just being toxic all week.
Daddy said, I'm not doing no self-work,
Yeah.
Melissa. And don't you do it and don't you bring it to my attention.
This is what happened. We went out and I called her and I was like, when we go out tonight, I don't want to have no deep conversations. She was like, my N-word, me either.
What's the N-word?
Racial slur.
Oh.
And so I was like, she was like, me either. I said, I'm over it. I'm done. I don't want to listen to nothing. I don't want to do nothing. Like, I don't want to have no deep conversation with you. I don't want to have no deep conversation with Stevie. We need to sit here and just like look at each other and drink a cocktail.
Listen, Melissa, although I love her, this girl's love language is deep conversation. Hey, we all having a good time, Josh? We having Taco Tuesday? What if we play We're Not Really Strangers and ask you what happened in middle school? That question, the way you think live. What, girl? Why don't we just listen to 90s
I want
R&B and sing loud?
2021 to be my year of toxicity, but I also won't allow myself to get that deep for a full year because I was listening to podcasts yesterday. But also, I'm just like, I'm going to carve out space for me not to be. I want to be contradictory. I want to be hypocritical. I want to.
We're all hypocrites.
I want to like do those things and not care. I don't want to be self-reflective. I don't want you to call me out on it. Actually, call me out on it so I can say I don't care.
This is just my truth.
This is
just my truth.
It's where I am
This is just my
today.
truth.
Okay. Anything else?
No, JoJo ends his podcast the same way.
With
He
what?
is your son.
With what? Oh, anything
When
else?
JoJo's like, that's about the amount of time.
Correct.
This should be done.
All right.
Anything else? If not, we'll
Let's
see
wrap
you
this
next
up.
week.
Yes.
Try to go wiggle my toes.
I'm with it. Okay. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Anything we didn't say?
I was just thinking about this while we were talking. I'm like, man, I am tired. Why am I so tired? I shot all day. We had, Keita and Bev over. Because I love Melissa, last week and the week prior and a lot, I am like, let me be a present husband and do what my wife
He's really working on it. You have been. This is
Stay
your.
up late and talk.
Do you need public acknowledgement?
No, I
You're
don't.
Doing good. I know.
But I'm like,
I've been
because
trying to tell him at the end of every night.
regular Kev would be like, after shooting like that, I'm in the bed at 9. Because I gotta
Although
shoot in
Angel and Marcus came over the other night.
Woo! Josh.
After we filmed the Married at First Sight. After we filmed Married at First Sight, first of all, it was late. It was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yes.
You okay?
I'm good now. Yeah.
And we filmed the mukbang first, then we filmed the Bald and the Beautiful, the review show portion, and then we just kind of chilled whatever the kids were having a good time. Kev never is cold, ever. Gets on the couch with a blanket. It was like this.
Josh, I'm talking about Marcus
Snoring.
and Angel over here. I'm getting the best.
I'm trying to
sleep.
wake him up because he's snoring, and he always is like super embarrassed when he's snoring. So I'm trying to get him to. I don't care. I'm asleep.
Josh, I'm talking about in the bed.
He was.
And I was like, and we don't get to hang with Marcus and Angel outside of work. And I'm trying to be a good friend, but because of children and life, whatever, we end up shooting late. Postmates was like, your food's ready? Psych, another hour.
Yeah, they were tripping.
Now it's ready. Psych, another hour.
Yeah, they were tripping.
If you would have told us that, we would have shot in the reverse.
Yeah.
I digress. But there's also a certain freedom of like, because you guys are my friends,
Kev was
I'm
knocked
gonna go
out.
to bed here. And I was trying to be awake. I was like, yeah, man, that is crazy about
He kept
mom.
going in and out of the conversation trying to say stuff like he was really in it, but then would snore in between.
Marcus, you know what I'm saying? Hammers. And Melissa and them just talked for another hour or two.
We did.
Woke up. It's R1:30. We're going to get out and out of here. Oh, yo, we was talking good, huh?
Trash. Okay, anything else?
Nah, cuz.
All right.
Dead
Thank
homies,
you
I'm
guys
done.
so much for joining us on today's episode of The Love Hour. Until the next time, bye.
Bye.